Howdy y'all, my name is Brunt Hefferton Mistrunner, Toll of the Mistrunner tribe, and today I want to talk to y'all about Illidan Storm Rage. Illidan is the most intense boss to tank. Period. I have never, in my whole tanking career, aside from Veilstras, felt consistent adrenaline every time I tank the boss. This guy is a beast. He is a force to be reckoned with, and if you mess up, or the fire res tanks mess up, you are super dead. Shear is an ability that you should know well, and shear is something that you need to change your rotation for. Normally when you're against a hard-hitting boss, you want to do something called shield block. You just shield block. If you have the rage to shield block, you shield block. But on this fight, you shield block specifically to prepare to block the shear. The shear will cut your HP down by like 60% or something crazy, and then he just bonks you on the head and you're dead. So what do? You respect it by getting some mitigation gear. I'm gonna go through my set here, just in game. Let's pause and go to the Brunt. Okay, this is the Brunt, and I'll show you what I got. This is my mitt set. This is 100% mitt, and then sometimes I'll peel some layers of mitt off, depending on how much threat I want to get away with. Gear is pretty important for this fight. You don't want to mess around. I've got the Destroyer Great Helm as my most mitigating option. It gives me defense and dodge. You can dodge the shear. I've got the ZG enchant, which is actually Biss. Who is this? What are they doing here? I was just here in Nagrand making a video. Well, that's nice. Anyways, this is my mitt set. I've got some tier 5 stuff. Helm, Frayed Tether of the Drowned off Morogrim. Destroyer Shoulder Guards. Pepe's Shroud of Wide People Happy. Onslaught Breastplate or Glory of the Defender. Glory of the Defender is a good choice here. I should get this enchanted. What the hell are you doing, Brunt? Vindicator's Plate Bracers for some Resil, or you can go for Van Braces of Courage. These are off Atomin the Huntsman. I've had some bad luck getting the mitt bracers from this phase. It's fine. These bracers do fine. For the mitt weapon, I'll go with Brutalizer. It is better than Mallet of the Tides by a good margin, basically a full replacement. An alternative that you have would be Fang of Vash. The expertise is great. The only problem with this one is it doesn't have any defense on it or anything. And then I've got the shield here. And you can go for something like this for some hit, which is nice. Or you can get a gun with a bunch of stam. This is from engineering. Stam trinkets are good. You can also get something like a Stylines to get some defense and some block. You can also tune up the aggression a little bit, honestly, and get some Solarian Sapphire and go for Battle Shout. That can buff your melee group pretty well, increase your kill time, and the 30 stam is welcome. There's a note about this ring. I have the Exalted Tanking ring. I might turn it in for the DPS ring because of a particular issue. You see the equip effect. When stuck in combat, has a chance of increasing your armor by 800 for 10 seconds. That sounds good, but it competes with the buff from this. Scroll of Protection 5, which is pretty cheap to buy on the auction house. The Scroll of Protection has 100% uptime, but this effect does not have 100% uptime, and it will push off your scroll. The other parts of the item are very good though. You got 44 block value. Block value is much more desirable than block rating, so that's good. And then 30 defense is huge, which if you need some help getting crit immune, that's very welcome. And in addition, the crit immune or the defense buffs up your dodge, parry, and block a little bit, which can help you avoid the shear. Shapeshifter Signet is basically just a sticky item that once you get it, you never unequip it under any circumstances. Expertise is so hard to find, and the Agi and Stam are welcome as well. Get your Lower City Exalted and get this ring. I got these Myrmidon treads recently. These would be my Mit Bis now. Very great boots. You can also use these. These don't have any dodge or parry or anything though, so it's not going to help you with shear. But the Brazil can help you with crit immunity, and the critical strike and the strength are great for threat, in addition to this item having very high armor. Boots of the Resilient to what I used before. Again, it's got a bunch of defense on it. It's got some shield block rating, which is kind of poop, but 51 stam is big, 1105 armor is big, and you got a couple gem slots. For my Mit pants, I was using these. Dodge rating and stam. That's just one of the epic gems I got from a heroic. The dodge is nice for dodge and shear, and so on. Defense rating is good. Get that 40 stam, 12 agi enchant on it. I have the Leo belt. You can also use a Karazhan belt off Morose if you have that. And then the Gauntlets of Enforcement are just super good. The expertise is a stat that you really want to have, and these are much better than having Grips of Deafness or Gloves of the Searing Grip, which are leather. You just have a crap ton of armor and then 70 stamina. Holy crap. So, looking at this stat loadout, I am above defense cap right now. And this is a point where you want to assess your raid, the raid that you're in. If you're in a pug raid and you're not sure about your healers, or maybe you inspect them and their gear is not super great and you haven't built trust with them, you might just play it safe and just be pretty much full Mit like this. And that's okay. But if you've got really good healers, you could do something like I did today against Illidan and play it a little bit more aggressive. This is what I did. I put this on because this gives me a crap load of threat. And it's the highest item level helmet that I have. I kept these shoulders on. I kept this on. I kept this on. The defense and the dodge is great for shear. These are good. Van Braces of Courage. I did this. And I did this for some hit. You can get some stam here. This is nice. I think I did this. A little bit greedy, but whatever. Got away with it. Ring of Sundered Souls is really good. This allowed me to keep my armor elixir on all the time. The dodge helps with the shear. You can get out of the way from that. Defense helps reach defense cap. Myrmidon's treads, this and this. So this is what I used for Illidan today, and it worked out pretty great. I got a whole bunch of threat. I was able to deal a bunch of damage to the fire elementals in phase 2, and then tank Illidan well for the rest of the time. So, based on your tanking preferences and your raid, you could play full Mit, or you could play crit immune plus some threat like this. Whatever stuff you have, Icon of Unyielding Courage, if you have that as a threat trinket. That's also good. Again, read the room and figure out how you want to best tank the fight. So, with that gear out of the way, let's get to the fight. This is a tough one. And there's a whole bunch of pressure on the main tank and on the other tanks, honestly. For the rest of the raid, it's not super complicated. I would say that it's not even the hardest fight this phase for the majority of raiders, but as the main tank, it is super, super intense. And why is it intense, Brunt? Well, it's because if you're missing shears or anything, you're super dead. Let's just skip ahead. There's some RP and stuff. Once we do a pull timer, I'm making sure I got all my stuff. I summoned the pumpkin soldiers for some little extra damage. I got my greater rune of shielding, which gives my shield a little bit of extra effectiveness. Elixir of demon slaying, because he used to be a night elf, but now he's a demon. Iron shield is up, ready to go. I got my scroll buffs, my food buff, and my armor buff. I'm not messing with Gift of Arthas this time. He hits like a bus. So ready to go here. I got my rage, I got my battle shout up, and then boom! That start of the fight was intense. I did a sapper for some burst threat, and then I did a nightmare seed as well to boost my health pool. That way I'm starting off this fight super strong. I've got a big fat threat lead, look at this. And I've got a huge health pool, 20k plus. So we're cranking out threat, and I got the survivability at the same time. Now let's look at his abilities. Where are my eyes for this fight? My eyes are right here. Maybe you've got custom unit frames, and you've got your stuff down here, whatever. You need to see where his cast bar is, and you need to watch that. This is the last boss of this phase. And honestly, by this point, if you're a tank, you should know more or less what your rotation is without needing to look at it. So what am I doing here with my hands? I'm making sure my shield slam ability is being used. That's E. I'm making sure my heroic strike and devastate are going. That's on Q and that's on F. So I'm just hitting E, Q, and F and maybe mixing in a revenge with V. And I'm watching these. Keep up the thunderclap demo shout. And then I'm just watching right here for shear. Because whenever shear happens, you want to shield block. And you don't. I'm going to repeat this. You don't want to shield block when it's not shear. You don't want to shield block when it's not shear because it might not be on cooldown and then you get sheared and it's a wipe. You need to keep that ability in reserve and use it reactively. This is hard to do because you've been used to spamming it all the time whenever you have a shield on. So we're tanking him. Heroic Strike, Devastate, Shield Slam. Heroic Strike, Devastate, Shield Slam. Are the debuffs up? Yes. Heroic Strike, Devastate, Shield Slam. Heroic Strike. Oh, shear, shield block. Okay, we got it. Shield Slam, Heroic Strike. Flame Crash. Move to the side, move to the side, move to the side. Make sure the pets are out of the fire. And you also want to make sure the ranged back here, you can see the target markers. Make sure the ranged are still in range of the boss and they don't have to move too much. When you see the fire, if you just back up, they all have to stop casting and chase you and the boss forward to make sure they're still in range. So you see this circle here? This is your guideline. When I get a flame crash when Illidan was here, I pull the boss over to here around the circle to make sure these ads are not in the fire. Because honestly, these pets do a lot of the hunter's damage. It costs them a lot of mana and time to resurrect them, and they're kind of annoying to move. But hunters deal a ton of damage for this fight. Look at this crap. They're pumping out a crap ton of damage, and the pets are like 30% of that. So it's worth it for you as the tank. Don't just let the pets die. Move the boss. When he does flame crash, there's a little bit of time before he shears again. So don't be scared. Just move the boss out of the fire. So you move the boss out of the fire. Pets are good. There's shear, shield block. You see the shear, you shield block. Debuff uptime is good. Heroic Strike, Devastate. I can just Heroic Strike, Devastate. I had someone in one of my comments on my first ever Illidan kill, and they were like, Brunt, you could do Shield Slam more. You're just doing Heroic Strike, Devastate. And I was saying, man, this is my first Illidan prog kill, and I wanted to prioritize never missing shear. And I think if you're new to this fight, that is noble. Shield blocking the shear is more important than min-maxing your threat output for this fight. Again, shield blocking the shear is more important than min-maxing your threat for this fight. So if your rotation isn't perfect, but you got the shield block, you're good. Okay, phase 2 coming up. You've got a bear fire res tank and a paladin fire res tank. You could also do 2 paladins or 2 bears. It doesn't matter. What do I do here? I'm dual wielding now. I put Demo Shout and Thunderclap on both of them because those are powerful debuffs and they reduce the damage that these fire tanks are taking. I'm not tanking this phase. You need fire res and I don't have it, honestly. I was tanking Illidan, so my focus is physical mitigation, not fire. But then the bear died. It happens. I taunt it. I'm trying to help out. I last stand. I got big health. 12k, they're trying to heal me up. I put my shield back on. But then he enraged. Someone pulled threat because they had threat built up or whatever. Or they passed me. And then he turns red and does super damage. If you look at these glaives here, there's one more glaive of Azzinoth here. It's tethered to this guy. The other glaive here is tethered to this guy. If these fire guys get too far away from the glaives, they turn red and they wipe you every time. So this was the first wipe. One of the fire res tanks died, and then the thing enraged, ran around and killed everybody. Let's skip ahead to the next try. I'm doing push-ups. I did push-ups here because I did a goal to do 1,000 in 2 days. Anyways, This is the next attempt. Okay, let's take it from the top. Come on, Brunt. Alright, we got the combat starts in 5 seconds. I've got my demon slaying. I've got my defense. Iron shield is up. I got my battle shout, and we're off to the races. Heroic strike, devastate, revenge. Watching for shear, watching for shear. Watching for shear. Is there a shear? There it is, shield block. Alright, we blocked it. Now we got a thunderclap demo shout up. Heroic strike, devastate, shield slam. And we're watching the cast bar, watching the cast bar. Shield block it again. Parasitic Shadow Fiend on me. This hasn't happened to me many times. I don't know why this happened to me, but I guess it can happen to the tank. It just means more damage is on you. I move him out of Flame Crash, same thing. Shield block to shear. There is a note here. If you miss a shear with your shield block, you're not necessarily dead. You still have the chance to get a natural parry from your gear, a natural block from your gear, or a natural dodge from your gear. This is an extra incentive to wear some mitigation for the fight. Sometimes crap happens. Maybe you get pretty unlucky with just you dodged every attack and you have 0 rage and you did heroic strike and you just can't shield block. There's still hope that you will find it in yourself to parry or dodge in that moment. So not all hope is lost just because you miss one, or maybe you accidentally hit shield block and it's not on cooldown. Those are the 2 main problems that can come up. So this time we're doing the same thing. Thunderclap, demo shout, these fire elementals. Battle shout is up. Heroic strike, devastate. I'm in berserker stance, get a little bit of extra crit. My mitigation doesn't really matter right now. I'm just contributing to the damage table and applying my warrior debuffs responsibly. So you see how the bear is keeping it in range of this warglaive. That's important. Write that down. He's trying to stay out of the fire and give the melee an angle. Sometimes there's a blue laser that cuts across the battlefield like this, and it can cut you off from that elemental. When that happens, they call for the melee to switch to the other one and DPS it here. Like, look now. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Obi-Wan fighting Darth Maul. We just have to wait until we can fight. Okay, so the paladin is tanking that. I'm throwing my Serpent Shrine Shuriken. 386 crits. I mean, it's something. All right, now we can go in. I'm going to get my Thunderclap demo shout up. Help out the tank. Make sure they can stay alive. You also want to make sure your raid is in a few distinct stacks for this fight, because there's a little fire effect, and you want to make sure that doesn't hit everybody at once. So you don't want to be all spread out evenly. You want to be in a few clumps. And then the shamans can just chain heal that. The priest can circle of healing that. So the paladin is tanking this. Notice as it's about to die, I'm at full rage. This is important, because this means that I can really unload on Illidan with a whole bunch of threat. And I'm going to get ahead and people can get a bunch of damage in. So I put the shield back on, refresh the iron shield potion, and I'm waiting for the boss right in the middle. People need to get out of the way, stay away from the face of the boss. He's down, a little bit of RP, he's kind of showing off, and now I'm hitting him. Heroic strike, devastate. Heroic strike, devastate. Thunderclap is up. Watching for shear, watching for shear. Demo shout is up, block, block, got it. Good. Heroic strike, devastate. Battle shout's up. I refresh my elixir of demon slaying. It's only a 5-minute buff, and this is a long fight, so you need to use 2 of them if you're going to use that as your battle elixir. Shield block, the shear. Thunderclap, refresh. Flame crash. Move out of the fire. Make sure the pets are out of the fire. That pet is still getting hit by the fire. Look at the blue on his feet. I'm going to move it a touch more. There we go. Watch for the shear. Thunderclap, shield block the shear. Good. Flame crash, move him to the side. Uh-oh, he has a stomach ache. Demon phase is coming up. I'm dual wielding here. I'm getting some threat. You see this buff here? This is a 500% increase to his physical damage. And then he just hit me for 36k. This is important to mention. I haven't had this happen before, but occasionally he will just melee someone before he starts casting his Shadow Bolt spells. The thinking for this fight is that you get a Warlock to wear a little bit of Shadow Res and then tank the Demon phase. But look at the threat, it's kind of scuffed and it's being reset a whole bunch. The Warlock is at the top, but he just hit me. So one thing that we do for this next attempt is whenever the Demon phase is finishing, I make sure my shield is on for one, and I just back up a bit to make sure that doesn't happen. If you're in a guild that has lower DPS overall, you might get a longer Demon phase and then you just stay out and you do your thrown weapon or something. We have pretty high DPS here, so we're able to skip pretty much all of the Demon phase, except for me getting blapped for 36,000. So keep an eye out for that buff. Once again, it looks like the metamorphosis icon. We'll skip to it here. He says stomach ache. There he goes. He's like, brah. Oh, wait. That wasn't it. Man, that Demon phase was short. There we go. It was a different stomach ache. Poor Illidan, he's got indigestion. There it is. That's the buff you want to watch out for. He can physical you for this much. Yep. Ouchie time. So, this ends up being a wipe. We try to have one of the other tanks take it. We didn't have a battle res at this point. And if you put a fire res tank on this guy, he usually just kills them because you need a lot of your item budget invested into physical mitigation. And for this boss, you really need that. And the fire res tanks have to have a lot of fire res for the elementals. So there's some RP. He kills the bear, and then he kills people until it gets to the paladin, and then he kills the paladin. And that's a wipe. I wanted to show you all the wipes just to show you some of the things that can go wrong. And now we're going to do it again. Doing it again. Put on that ward of shielding. Shielding. Whatever it is. Armor elixir is up. Food buff is up. Paladins getting their buffs out. I'm in position. I got my scrolls up. I got my might. I got my pumpkin soldier sword. Alright, RP is going. Combat starts in 35. 18. Pumpkins are out. Battle Shot is up. Iron Shield is up. Misdirect. Hots are on me. Earth Shield is up. I'm hitting Devastate. Heroic Strike. Alright. Thunderclap is up. Watching for Shear. Watching for Shear. Demo Shout is up. Shield Slam. Heroic Strike. Devastate. Shield Block the Shear. And we're good. Thread away. I'm not hitting shield block indiscriminately. I'm watching for shear. I'm watching. There it is, block. Got him. Clean. Flame crash. Move the pets out of the fire. Move it in a circle so they can keep hard casting. You don't want to force the casters in the range to move. If you can avoid it, shield block to shear. Got it. Shield slam, heroic strike, devastate. Watch for the shear. Iron Shield is up. Heroic Strike, Devastate, Shield Block to Shear. We got it. Last second. Last millisecond, but it still counts. Thunderclap. Flame Crash, move it out of the way for the pets. Heroic Strike, Devastate. Heroic Strike, Devastate. He phased at about 67-ish%. I'm dual wielding now. Battle Shout is up, and it's good. We got the bear tank. We got the paladin tank. Stage 2 coming up. He throws the glaives down. 1, 2. Let the bear get some threat. They're pulling them together for a little bit. Boom, thunderclap, demo shout, both of them. Look at that warrior debuff uptime. That's how you contribute. Heroic strike, devastate. I'm in berserker stance. I don't want to pull threat over this guy because I don't have fire res on. I would get blapped. Battle shout is good. We're just hitting away at it. So here, my Iron Shield is off cooldown, but I'm not going to hit it yet because I'm not getting hit by stuff. And I'm also knocking a haste potion. You see the haste potion next to that. The reason I don't want a haste potion is because that also puts my Iron Shield on a 2-minute cooldown, and I want the Iron Shield for tanking Illidan. We got that one down. Gonna go to the next one. First thing I do, Thunderclap, Demo Shout. Thunderclap was resisted. I'll try it again. We got it this time. DPSing him down. We got the 5 Sunders on it. Battle Shout is up. DPS, DPS. If it goes on the other side of the fire, you just wait. Better to wait than to stand in the fire and die. Fire bad. We learned this in raids. Thunderclap is falling off. But he's getting low here. I'm going to save some rage. Okay, we're up to pretty much full rage. Shield on. He's going to come back. Iron Shield is up. MD is up on me. He's going to jump down in the center. Yep, there he is. Earth Shield is up. Heroic Strike, Devastate, Thunderclap, watch for Shear. Demo Shout. Watching for Shear, watching for Shear. There it is, Shield Block. Heroic Strike, Revenge, Devastate, Shield Slam, Bloodlust is up. 58%. And we're bringing him down, watching for Shear. Where is it? I'm looking. There it is. Shield Block, Heroic Strike, Shield Slam. Better to miss a Devastate or a Shield Slam than it is to miss a Shield Block on Shear, I'll tell you that much. Trying to move the pets out of the fire, it's a little bit tricky. It's like trying to parallel park, jeez Louise. Shield Block the Shear, Demo Shout is back up. Iron Shield is up, Battle Shout is up. Elixir of Demon Slaying is up. We need a Thunderclap again. He's going to phase. Is this it, mortals? Is this all the fury you can muster? No, sir. We're at full HP, my guy. We're going to keep fighting you. You just put us on a pause button. Then Maev shows up and she's like, motherfucker, you get back in jail. You didn't serve all your time yet. And he's like, man, I've been in there for thousands of years. And it's a pain. I don't really know exactly what he did, but he's got a pretty questionable temple and he's consorting with a lot of demons and stuff. I don't know. Okay, back to the business. Thunderclap, Demo Shout, watching for Shear. Shield Block it. We got him. Blood Rage to get that rage income. Iron Shield instant as soon as it's up. Iron Shield Potion is so much of your armor. It's a big chunk, 2.5k. Refresh that as soon as you can. Thunderclap, Demo Shout, need a refresh. Shield Block to Shear, we got it. Thunderclap, Demo Shout. Okay. Shield Block, Rogue Strike, Devastate. Now, you know how I'm watching for Shear up there? Oh, there's the Enrage. Shield Wall. You Shield Wall, then Enrage. He hits really hard during the Enrage. And that's one of the main reasons why Warrior Tank, some say, is BIS for tanking this guy. The Shield Wall and the Enrage. Last Stand, the Enrage. You've got big defensive cooldown. Shield Slam, Shield Block the Shear. We got it. And now we're getting him down. Let me look at when that was in the fight just to give you a rough approximation of the percentage when he did the Enrage. 10%. Yep, there it is. At 12% he did that. So trying to save your shield wall, which means don't be greedy in like recklessness on the Illidari Council or something, or on Mother. You shouldn't recklessness on that boss anyway. But shield wall is actually a useful ability in this phase because of this fight. It just makes the Enrage phase a lot smoother for your raid and your guild. So you bring him down. If there's a demon phase, make space for the Warlock. You see I'm kind of stepping away from him after what happened before. I don't want to get hit for like 31k. This is RP. It's kind of confusing. I don't know why the fight is over yet, or isn't over yet, but Maev is throwing something at him. She's like, go to jail. Go to jail. Jail. Go to jail. And he just has a stomach ache. But yep, that's Illidan. And man, if it isn't an adrenaline rush as the tank. Holy smokes. If you miss a shear, you die. And don't beat yourself up too much if you miss one or two. It can happen. Sometimes you have low rage. Sometimes you accidentally hit it. Just be cool about it. Let people know, hey, my bad. I'll try to be sharper about that next time. Use your defensive cooldowns at the proper time. Shield wall, then rage. Iron shield potion should be up every time. Scroll up if you can. Food buff always. Guardian elixir into armor pretty much every time. And enjoy the fight. This is my favorite this phase by a huge margin. You just feel like a beast fighting Illidan Storm Rage. He's a character that I thought was really cool in Warcraft 3, and I never thought that I would one day grow up to fight him face to face. But here we are, and he's just splat on the ground. That's pretty baller. Well, I wish y'all luck in tanking this boss. He has a sick loot table. Let's just look at his loot real quick, because that's pretty fun. Let's go to his loot here. Oops. Illidan, what loot do you have? He's got some good stuff. Black Temple. Illidan Storm Rage. Spell Haste Healing Cloak. This is Healer Bis, but funnily enough, it's also Caster Bis because of the haste being so powerful. Our guild is letting the healers get it first just because it makes sense, because they get the full value of the item. But for casters to want it to, it makes sense. Cowl of the Illidari High Lord. Spell hit. Casters probably want this. Curse Vision of Sargeras. This is physical DPS Bis, which includes hunters, rogues, DPS warriors, enhancement shamans, and many more. This is not something that I prioed for myself as a tank. I put it on my list, but far enough down that I won't compete with the DPS until all of them get it. Faceplate of the Impenetrable. This is a super good mid helmet. Honestly, I want this helmet. It hasn't dropped for me yet, but when it does drop, I'll be proud for it. Ton of defense, a whole bunch of dodge. Shield block rating is kind of whatever, but shield block value is good. Armor is great on this. 82 stam, and you get a meta and a red socket. Overall, really good helmet. And since you don't need to build into the tier 6 set bonuses or anything for tanking, this is a good mitigation bis option for you. Stormrage Signet Ring. This is just a super powerful ring. This is pretty high up my list for threat purposes, but DPS will want this as well, so if they get it, that's fine. Skull of Gul'dan is Caster Bis Trinket, basically the new Neltharian's tier for TBC, super good. Memento of Tyrande, it's kind of like the Rejuve gem of TBC. Healer Bis, very strong trinket. Warglaive of Azzinoth, holy shit, 2.8 speed. A ton of DPS, hit rating, attack power. Set bonus has a crazy haste proc on it, 450 for 10 seconds. And you get attack power fighting demons. Thing about these glaives is DPS are going to get more value out of them than a tank. You could give them to a tank, but tanks can hold threat without these. So I'm proud behind the DPS warrior and rogue in the guild to get these. If you're a tank in the guild, probably don't want to argue for them going to you first. It's best to wait. You also don't know how lucky your guild's going to be. And another way to think about it would be, if you're tanking, you're not going to use the offhand warglaive all the time. You only use that in certain boss scenarios and on trash, whereas a rogue, it's going to basically stick this item on and never unequip it, so they get 100% value from that. So maybe you'll see me with glaives being really lucky later on, but we're prioing these to our rogue first, who's been with the guild since day one. He got his offhand, and he was very excited about that. He even got a glaive emote for his Twitch channel. On the other hand, the chest guard here, I did prio for myself. It's my top prio item spot for this phase, because the tier stuff is pretty congested. This is my best chest, and I never got the tier 5 chest. It just didn't drop for me. So This is just a huge stat bonus going from tier 4 chest to this. Holy crap. So many stats on it. I only got the chest and the shoulders for myself, and the rest of it I'm just not going to prio it so that the hunters and shamans can get it. Stop doing this. Shard of Azeroth. This item is probably the least desired one off the boss. It summons a little thing, which could be cute. Nobody knows how much damage that does. Chance on hit calls forth an Ember of Azeroth to protect you in battle. Who knows what that's going to do? You could offhand this for your threat set if you're dual wielding, I guess. Crystal Spire of Karabor's Healing Bis main hand weapon. Azar Doom is a spell haste, spell crit, damage and healing staff. It's basically a fell puppy thing on a stick, or a Zergling if you're a StarCraft person. And then Bulwark of Azeroth. Wait, how am I holding a staff and a shield at the same time? Maybe it's a Tauren thing, or built different. This is the best shield this phase. Paladins and warriors want this. This is pretty high on my list. If paladins have this, they're going to get lots of value from it too. It doesn't have magic stuff on it. They have a threat shield that they also want. For warriors, this is the shield that you want. And then you've got the Black Bow of the Betrayer. This is pretty good if you're the kind of hunter who goes It also looks cool. So that's something that's good. Illidan has a really good loot table. There's a lot of things. Something really good for everybody, honestly. And yep, definitely the most exciting fight to tank this phase, especially as the main tank. Remember, shield block is for the sheer, don't just hit it on cooldown. Watch the ability bar of the boss. Make sure you move out of the way for the flame crash. Make sure the pets aren't getting hit by the fire. Keep that thunderclap and that demo shout up. Keep the battle shout and the iron shield up. And you can kick Illidan's ass. I believe in you. From me, Brunt half a ton, Mr. and a told more that Mr. and a tribe. Ancestors watch over you. And best of luck in y'all's abyss. I'll see you on the next one.